We are back. This is the FloTrack podcast on a Wednesday. I'm Kevin. He is Gordon. The email address, flotrackpodcast@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to the FloTrack podcast YouTube page. On today's show, we're going to talk about the final 5 nominees for Men's Athlete of the Year in track and field. And we're also going to preview the women's race at the NCAA Cross Country Championships, which takes place in just a couple days from now in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where Gordon and I will be. Gordon, hello, how are you?
We are 68 hours away from NCAAs.
By the time the show is over, 67 hours away.
And then the hour after that, 66
It's just
hours.
going to keep going.
We're getting closer. The countdown is real.
Yeah, you excited for the women's preview? I see you got some charts up here.
I thought you were going to say you're excited for the meet. Yeah, I'm excited for the meet.
Well,
I'm not excited for the podcast. I'm excited for the actual event.
I'm a process guy. I trust the process, so you got to do one step at a time. We can't be outcome oriented.
Yes, I am excited to break down the women's field. Lots of intriguing matchups, both at the team side and individual. Typically, a lot of times, an individual is already a known, or a team is already a known. That's a weird way to say that phrase. Is an already huge. There's not a huge favorite. There are slight favorites. There's like medium favorites, but there's not like it's one or the other. So I'm excited to break down, especially the team battle. And we got some analytics, deep diving analytics for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're going to decide who's a .95 versus who's a .96?
I will say this. We'll get to it, but I have updated the algorithm. And I could reveal the algorithm.
Guys.
Should I save it for the bonus pod, or should I actually reveal the algorithm? Because I tweaked it. I tweaked the algorithm, and it was fun to do it. It was fun to tweak the algorithm, because I was like, whoa, I never thought about doing this. It's the first time I've ever done it this way.
Should you do that right before the most important meet of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's because now you have the most data. You have limited data in the beginning of the year, so you kind of use a certain type of way of prioritizing certain races over others.
Okay.
But as you get closer, you're able to recognize, like, this ain't as important as I thought it was. What you did last year,
Yeah, but
not
shouldn't
that big of a
that
deal.
should be built in, though?
It should be built in, but
you need a model, not an algorithm, is what you need.
well, it's the same thing.
So it needs to fluctuate.
It's like
throughout
Twitter.
time.
We're
It does.
changing the tires on the interstate.
No, the algorithm changes as the season changes, because who you are in September is all based on what you did last year. Who you are in November is all based on what you did in October.
Yeah, but I'm saying that should happen automatically. Like, you should set that to happen
all they gotta
at
do
the
is
beginning
just
of the year.
Click the button,
and then
it
that
changes.
way it's the same.
Well, this isn't like a robot that's just like
That's what I need.
emailing me the results.
No,
Like,
it needs to. Yeah, you need to scrape data, and it needs to all go in there, and then you got.
all right, how many hours left do we have till?
We're 3 minutes.
Still 68
farther
hours?
on
Okay.
from where. All right, before we do that though, let's talk about the Men's Athlete of the Year final 5. I knew that was going to be something to talk about with this group. So the final 5 World Athletics announced: Jakob Ingebrigtsen, Manu Duplantis, Eliud Kipchoge, Noah Lyles, and Sufjan El Bakali gets that number 5 spot.
I like that. I'm happy about that.
It's ridiculous.
I'm a big Bakali fan.
I know you're a big Bakali fan. If you've listened to the bonus pod, you can understand why Gordon is a big El Bakali fan.
It's not ridiculous.
It's completely ridiculous. Let me say, at the jump, it's going to be between Mondo and Kipchoge. So
Yes.
the addition of El Bakali and the omission of Dos Santos isn't ultimately going to impact who is going to be the rightful winner of this award. It rightfully should be between those two. I think we both had Mondo slightly,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to yell at anybody if you say Kipchoge. He broke his own world record. It's tough to compare a pole vaulter and a marathoner.
Yeah.
But
That's literally apples to oranges.
yeah. One of them carries a pole and goes over a bar, and the other one runs for 2 hours on
In
a
the street, yeah.
Yeah, there's just not much in common.
There's not much
between
overlap.
those two.
Is there any overlap? Like, shoes are different, the shorts are different. I know, look, in this thing, they're both wearing half tights. So
Half tights.
that's the thing they have in common. They wear half tights.
Everybody's got half tights on in the photo, actually.
Big half tight year.
Maybe
Year for half tights.
that's the actual athlete of the year, is half tights. No, Alcin Dos Santos got robbed. Alcin Dos Santos should have been in this final 5. There's no argument for why El Bakali should be ahead of Dos Santos. They both were undefeated. Dos Santos competed in twice as many finals. Dos Santos had better all-time performances. Dos Santos competed against a better historical field than El Bakali. I have no idea how you would ever come up with this decision where you would ever put Dos Santos below El Bakkali. I had him 4th behind Lyles, and then I had Jakob 5. I actually had Che and Holloway ahead of. I had El Bakkali 8th.
Yeah. I like this because this is just I can get a little bit of a win. I was very upset about my whole Sharika Jackson not getting in. So if I can cause a little chaos on the men's side, I'm okay with it. Big Dos Santos fan.
But you're a Dos Santos guy.
I am.
Why do you want him out? What did he do? He had an awesome season.
Because I am upset that I would have rather they took off Jakob Ingebrigtsen for Bakkali, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'm really upset about the whole no Faith Kipyegon, no Sharika Jackson. So
you just wanted chaos, is what you're saying.
I wanted chaos, and Dos Santos can handle it. I feel like he's got a level set head. He's young. He's 23 years old. The guy still has yet to hit his peak. His time is still in the future. We think it's now, but I think his time is still in the future. I think he's gonna have a chance to potentially do something even more special next year, where he could beat a healthy Warholm and a healthy Benjamin. Like, that's going to be...
All that is true, but that doesn't change the fact that this year, you put the 2 resumes up.
Yes.
Nobody can conclude that Bakkali should be in over Dos Santos.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know what the online vote was. Maybe he got crushed in the online vote, but the 75% of non-online vote, I don't know how anybody would come to the conclusion that you have to have El Bakkali in there.
Maybe there's like a leaning towards...
Big steeple contention out there?
Also... If we're going to be honest, like, Monaco is the central hub of World Athletics. Morocco.
It's shorter
close.
flight.
It's like they kind of look. El Bakkali is kind of their go-to like Monaco athlete, even though he's not from Monaco.
Okay.
They kind of take him under. They like adopted him. They kind of like. It's like saying how,
It's usually the French athletes, I thought, that they really cheer for.
They cheer for El Bakkali.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like a star in Monaco. So
Okay.
I think that could have been
You've
part
been
of it.
there for that?
Yeah.
To see? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, they have a Rabat Diamond League, so he gets his cheers there as well. Dos Santos did everything you're supposed to do. Like, he showed up to everything. He ran every Diamond League pretty much possible.
Yeah, Dos Santos is definitely robbed.
Yeah. I just want everybody to acknowledge that. And I don't know how you could come to this. Like, I don't know what the argument would be. Like, I would love to
There
hear
is
what
no
the
argument.
Okay.
There is absolutely no argument for El Bakkali. But this is one of those things where there clearly was a face mask, but it benefited your team, so you're just going to accept it. Or it clearly was an offensive charge, but whatever. Your team's on the good side of it. You're going to be like, hey, them's the rules. So this is a them's the rules moment for El Bakkali fans.
Okay. I like how you acknowledge there's just absolutely no argument.
It's completely fraudulent that El Bakkali's in this. It should 100,000% be Dos Santos.
Okay, good.
Like, I'm not
going
to justify Dos Santos not being on this. He should be on it.
Yeah.
100%.
It would have been, so I had him 8, right? And then the other 2 nominees, I had Peters 9 and then Pichardo 10. I guess if you had one of those guys, it would have been even a bigger red flag because those guys lost a bunch in the season. Remember, Pichardo was only 4 and 5 this year. El Bakkali, again, only ran 5 3,000-meter steeple finals. He had 1 2,000-meter steeple final, which...
But you can argue this. You didn't lose.
He didn't lose, but you can't compete
There's
half as many times.
There's people on this, who lost? Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Jakob lost, yeah.
So
Mondo lost.
So,
yeah. But again...
That's something.
He's got
Dos Santos didn't lose, though.
More than 5 times. I would like to see more than 5 times, or I would like to see...
You don't. No, that's
some
not
historic
true.
performances.
Yeah. You do this whole you have to run a lot because you don't hold that against Sydney because.
Oh, I wonder why. What's the difference between Sydney and El Bakkali?
I don't know. What's the difference between Sydney and Sharika Jackson? Because last time I checked, they both have 2 of the top 4 all-time performances.
World
yet
record.
one is a guaranteed lock to win Athlete of the Year, and the other one's not even invited.
World record. Again, if you're only going to run 5 times, you got to make those 5 count. El Bakkali. Yeah, pull up El Bakkali's times here. 8:25 at Worlds, 8:02 in Lausanne, 8:07 in Zurich. 7:58, so he had one of the sub-8 performances. Germach had more sub-8s than him. And then an 8:09 in Doha. It's a fine season.
He's just
an average
season. He's just a big Fast and the Furious fan. Vin Diesel's his icon. Winning is winning. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Sure.
Doesn't matter if you run the world record or not.
But it does if you're deciding between Athlete of the Year. Then it does actually matter. And this season is not better than Dos Santos.
I'm just happy that you're upset because I was so upset about the women's side.
But that was
so this is me just like schadenfreude for me.
I'm
just happy you're
Okay, first
experiencing
off,
this.
good job on Schadenfreude, by the way. You tried to sneak that in there because you didn't know if you had pulled it off, but you did a good job.
Yeah,
almost. You almost landed that one.
Schadenfreude. Yeah.
But no, this is so much worse than the women's. Because the women's, you honestly had a situation where you're like, all right, it's 6 for 5 spots, but then they threw Garcia Leon in there, so then it became
6
another
for 4
spot.
spots.
Yeah, but this is just one-on-one when you look at them. Because they got all the other ones right. It'd be one thing if they just went crazy and just had a totally different formula than we were anticipating, but they had all the other ones right. So they were using the same thought process we did. And then in the last one, they just said, you know what? Let's add the Steepler. Let's just throw him in there.
All right, Mondo's winning?
Yeah, I think Mondo's going to win. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Kipchoge won. If it's any one other than those other two, I think that would be a mistake. But it's not as big as a mistake as leaving out Dos Santos. That, to me, is going to go down as the...
If Mondo does win and Sydney wins,
mm-hmm.
who would you give the overall...
Ultimate athlete of the
ultimate athlete of the year. Bring back Lincoln with his ultimate rankings.
That's true.
Who would be the ultimate athlete
Lincoln.
of the year? Sydney or Mondo?
I mean, that one I might lean... Mondo, right? Would it be Mondo?
Yeah, I mean, thing is, Sydney, though, has the whole thing, like, the difference between Sydney and the next person is so much bigger than the difference between... How far is Mondo's mark compared to Buka?
Indoors or outdoors?
I don't know. Come on. Stop,
here we go. Well, he's at 621 now. Outdoors, Bubka's 614.
Okay, so that's...
Indoors, Bubka's...
So 7 centimeters?
Yeah, and he's 4 centimeters clear of Lavillenie indoors.
So 7 centimeters. What's the difference? What's 7 centimeters in pole vaulting versus time in 400 hurdles? What's that conversion factor?
I got to get my charts out.
I don't know.
Let's have that debate when they both win.
You know, in that situation, though, I think I would go towards Mondo because he competed more.
I think so, too.
I think Mondo would get ultimate due to participation.
Yeah. I think that, because again, with each one of these things, the bar gets higher and higher. Like you dig more into the resume and you get even pickier and even
I thought
pickier.
you were doing a pun there.
Oh, the bar? No.
Gets
higher. should lose my
That's a
position
good,
on this
no,
podcast.
it's a good reference.
I think, yeah, and Mondo going 19-1. All right, he's not undefeated, but it's because he competed 20 times. That being said, if you simulate the season where Sydney competes 20 times, she doesn't lose. So.
She might.
But it's a different beast. Pole vault versus.
Do you think
Monroe.
Sydney went? Oh, let's play a game, and then we'll preview the women's cross country championships, which is 68.75 hours
Okay,
away.
I have the right to say I don't want to play this game. We can save it for later if it's not a good game, or I'm not ready for the game. But go ahead.
Pick a date that Sydney will lose a race.
Any race?
Any race.
Oh.
No, it has to be 400 flat or 400 hurdle. So it can't be like a 200 or whatever. When will be the next time Sydney loses a race? I'm going to put the over-under at May 1st, 2025.
May 1st, 2025. So she's going to go undefeated in 23 and 24. I'll go under.
Just pick the date. Pick the date.
She'll run a quarter.
And lose in a quarter?
And it'll be, or like, what counts here? What if she doubles and does a 400 hurdles and they're an hour and a half apart in like a random diamond league?
Semis don't count.
So yeah, semis don't count, but I'm saying
Any
race
counts.
in the 400.
Any race in a 400 or 400 hurdle.
Yeah, I'll do the same date, just a year.
So you say she will lose before
May
1st, 2024.
I'll say May 1st. Yeah, 2024. You're going 2025?
I'm going May 1st, 2025.
Yeah.
Will be when she'll lose.
But then if you did the same thing with Mondo, you'd go way earlier.
Yeah, because Mondo, you can no height and weather is weird.
You'd probably say something.
I'd say
like
Mondo will probably lose August 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A random
So
diamond
that
league.
proves Sydney should be
that's true.
athlete
All right.
of the year. Done. Good game. Love it.
Thanks for playing the game. See,
Great
some of
content.
my games are worth.
No, that was good.
All right.
That was good. All right, let's go to women's cross country preview.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to talk about the other news? Or save that for the end of the pod?
Let's say that for the end of the pod
Okay.
because I was already introducing the next segment. So
You can reintroduce it for the clip.
no, it's good.
No, just
You'd
reintroduce
be
it.
great on local news. I'd like start off be like, and now to weather. Be like, you sure don't want to do sports right now?
I mean,
Why don't we do sports?
Sports
What about
is
traffic? Is it traffic on the fives? Why can't we get traffic going?
How long will it take before they would be like, Gordon,
Gordon, we're going
thanks,
in
but
other
no
directions.
thanks. We're going to move on.
Gordon doing local news would be great. All right. First of all, you updated the rankings. What were the big changes?
Well, let's bring up the rankings. Let's check
You're
them out.
prepared too. It's good. It's great.
The team. Are we
There's a lot
talking
of noise
team?
in the background,
Are we talking?
by the way.
Are we talking team or?
We're in a construction zone again.
Yeah.
Here.
We're talking team or we'll start with team. So NC State stays number 1. Oklahoma State I dropped from 2 to 3, and I moved New Mexico up from 3 to 2. NAU I moved up from 4 to 5. Alabama I dropped from. NAU moved from 5 to 4, and Alabama dropped down from 4 to 5.
Do you want to start this again?
Georgetown stayed at 6, and then the rest is kind of chaos. So I basically swapped New Mexico, Oklahoma State, and swapped NAU and Alabama based off of what happened at regionals.
So these are your picks basically then?
No, these are the rankings.
Okay, so you have NC State 1, New Mexico 2, Oklahoma State 3, NAU 4, Alabama 5.
Yes, and I would say that there are 7 teams that can podium, and I'd say there's 3 teams that can win.
So that's Georgetown and Notre Dame could also podium. And then the 3 teams that could win, NC State, New Mexico, and Oklahoma State.
Correct.
All right.
Them's the numbers.
Any big changes individually on the women's side?
Individually, I did swap Parker Valby and Caitlin Toohey.
Okay.
So Valby I now have as the number 1 ranked athlete going into nationals. Toohey dropped down to 2. I mean, there was a vibe reason for that drop, not really necessarily a result reason, more just a vibe. Just felt like Valby has more momentum. So
momentum.
Yeah, but they're really 1A and 1B. Like, I feel bad having to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
I will say this. I will say there is a 50% chance that one of these 2 finishes outside the top 2.
Okay, I could see that. It's a hard course.
Yeah. There's a chance that one, and by outside top 2, I'm saying like they finish like 9th. Like not like 3rd. Because I think they're both are going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're either both going to have it, and it's going to be a great moment in the final 800 to see who has it the most in the final 800, or they're both going to go for it, and one is going to be a little bit going too much to the well too early, the windy conditions, the cold, the hills, and then one of them just falls apart, and the other one's able to hold on and just wins by a landslide. So I think those are the 2 options. I'm still not sure who my pick is. I'll let you know my pick at the end of the pod, but yeah, Valby and Toohey still so much better than the rest. And then the other big names, Chalanga, Rowe, Kayla McCabe, Kelsey Camille, Hilda Olamoba. Did I say that right?
Moy, I think Momoy.
Olma. Then Everlyn Kemboy.
Yeah.
And then Bailey Herdstein, and then Aubrey Brenthaway, the senior from BYU, is my top 10. So.
All right. So do you want to break the team race down a little further then?
Yeah, so basically we ranked the top 255 based off of projected top 7s of the 31 qualified teams and the individuals that are going to the meet. And so what I did is I went through and see where your athletes showed up in my rankings of the notable top 6 teams. And so you can kind of see where certain teams' strengths and weaknesses are and see kind of how the team total is playing out. And when we bring this graphic up here, you can see NC State versus New Mexico. Kevin, what do you notice here in the breakdown between these rosters?
Well, New Mexico is going to have a real tight pack. You have them going 19 to 48, which is really, really tight for an NCAA championship style race. You have them scoring 142.
Yeah, 19 to 29 for their top 4. That's even tighter.
But that's what we would expect. That's been New Mexico's pattern the last couple of years. Now, before when they had Kaladi or some of the other superstars from years past, they would have a really low stick in there. But it's more just, is that group going to finish, 19 to 29, or could they possibly finish, 15 to 25 or 10 to 20? That's going to be the difference. And then the NC State side, all 7 you have in the top 90, which is good, but there's a gap there between 4 and 5 for them. So I think if you're NC State,
it's a big gap.
Yeah, if you're NC State, you feel really good about your 2 up front, obviously.
Yes. And
then it's just a matter of, hey, the rest of that group, can you get a low stick in 4 and 5? But it's like you look at NC State versus everybody else, it's like they have the better one
Yes.
than everybody else. They have the better two
Yep.
than everybody else.
Maybe not Alabama. Alabama might have a better 2.
Okay.
Potentially.
But it's close.
Yeah.
And then 3 looks better. So then
They
it
definitely have a better 3.
yeah, and 4.
Maybe not, though. Oklahoma State's 3. Villa Jepkuri.
Yeah.
She's right there with Bush. So that's when Alabama has a challenging number 2 versus NC State. Oklahoma State has a challenging number 3 against NC State.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets interesting. The big factor, which I said in the podcast a week or so ago, Sydney Seymour, I mean, she's one of the best runners. No one has a good 4 the way they do. And I've done analysis. I've looked back at the past 20 so years on both the men's and women's side. 90 to 95% of the time, the eventual winning team, whoever had the best number 4 runner, typically wins, because it's like a weird thing. Sometimes like the most important runner is your fifth runner, not necessarily. Or the most important runner is your number 1 stick, and you have someone like there's that analysis. No one's ever won without a 1 stick in the top 10.
Yeah, scoring 10.
Scoring in the top 10.
Yeah.
There's another analysis where if you compare all 31 teams' number 4 runners, whoever is the best number 4 runner on those 31 teams typically wins. And you look at this, Sydney Seymour, right now I've ranked 27th. New Mexico's number 4 runner, I have ranked 29th.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's pretty close.
And that makes sense. These 2 teams are close. They're the top 2 teams. And then you look at the number 4 runners of Oklahoma State and Alabama. Oklahoma State's Gabby Hennerman, 42. That's going to be Oklahoma State's. Like, are they going to be able to close that gap? Alabama, Flomina Asicol, thank you. She's 38. So they're still All-American caliber, so they could get into the mix. And that's why these 4 teams are kind of separate from the rest, because they have good all number 4 runners. And typically, your 4th runner needs to be top 40.
Well, and you see 2 separating from Oklahoma State and Alabama, and that's just because of that depth at 4 and 5. Now, Oklahoma State looks like they're in close enough range, and they'll be racing at home, so you don't want to count them out. But having a 5 score 100, that's really tough for your team chances. Because then you look on the flip side, both NC State and New Mexico are going to have 7 in before you even get to 100, let alone 5. So I think, it looks like it's going to be tight between New Mexico and NC State, with Oklahoma State having an outside shot at it. I would favor, this has been my position for the last couple weeks, NC State. I think because of the reasons I outlined above, having the better 1, having the better 2, and I just think they have so much depth. They have 7 women who have the potential to be top 50 on the right day.
Yeah.
And I just think enough of them are going to come through when it counts to give them a score in the 110 to 130 range, which should be enough.
And here's the thing about Oklahoma State and Alabama. Right now, they're in the 3-4 area range. Stephanie Moss, right now, they're a 5th runner, 100. Gabgia Galvidite, I don't know if I said the name, 109. And their 7th runner, Sivian Auerbach, 118. So that's 3 women, all potentially in the same range as their 5th runner.
Yeah.
If one of those 3 just runs out of their mind on their home course, instead of finishing 100, they finish 60th.
Yeah.
That's 40 points. You take 40 points away from their 171, they're down to 131, and then you're in range to potentially win. Same thing with Alabama.
Yeah.
Elka Machin, if she's like, because at the end of the day, what's the difference between finishing 141st and 80th? Not much.
Not much, but we also need to put in perspective, run out of your mind.
Yeah,
because this isn't basketball where you can catch fire
From
for a
3,
quarter or football where you can get a couple breaks. This is distance running.
That's true.
There are limits to it. Now, they can have a great day and other people around them can have bad days and you can make up some points, but there is a limit to how much you can expect from these runners.
I will say that. And also, this is analysis that I'll probably talk about more on the men's side, but I'll bring it up here on the women's side. You also look about where's the opportunity to improve.
Mm-hmm.
You look at NC State's top 4, you can't really see much room for improvement. Like, Caitlin Tui can't do better than 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The difference of Samantha Bush 14 to 9, that's only going to be 5. Like, their top 4, really, like, their ceiling is, they don't really have a higher ceiling to get to. Yeah. And same thing with a bunch of other schools. But if you look at it, Alabama and Oklahoma State could knock down a ton of points if one of their runners just runs out of their mind. Same thing with New Mexico a bit with their fifth runner. Notre Dame and NAU, that's what brings them into the mix because you look at their places, they have a bunch of women. NAU, I have right now 10, 31, 47, 75, 76. If three of those women each knock 20 places off their spot, all of a sudden they're in the mix. Same thing with Notre Dame. I have them 16, 54, 56, 62, 69, and an 80.
Well, they're closer.
Make that a 30, 30, 40, 40, and then all of a sudden Notre Dame's in the mix.
Well, they're closer to Alabama than Alabama is to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, 3 teams. It's like 2 groups of 3 teams.
Yeah.
Or I guess you would extend.
Georgetown also should be talked about a bit.
Well, like NAU at 230, you're predicting at 239. That's only 26 points back of Alabama. Yeah. So that's where, a couple runners knock off 10 points, and then you're in business. For Alabama, those 4 are really solid.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting the 5th across the line, and NAU has NAU, their first runner could be behind Alabama's third runner, realistically.
Yeah.
And they could still manage to beat them.
Yeah.
Like they could have 3 in before NAU has 1, but then NAU could have 5 in before they have 5.
Yeah.
They get 7 in before they have 5, actually. Yeah. Think about it. So it all is just going to depend on where there's 10 points here, 5 points here. There's a big group of women at this point, Like that's kind of what's fun and interesting about cross country is like how are the points distributed as well too.
That's cross country, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I go back to last time it was in Stillwater. Weather was warmer then than it is going to be on Saturday, but the course itself was tough and teams were going big time backwards over the last kilometer. I mean, Whitney Orton was in the lead and then all of a sudden you look, she was just nowhere. And BYU hung on and ended up winning that race. But
there were teams that were in the podium position with like a K to go.
Yeah.
And then they finished like 15th.
Yeah. It was really wild, the fluctuations in points, because people just literally tied up and lost 100 spots, right, in the last mile or so. Like people were collapsing and stuff. So I don't know if we're going to get that because the weather will be cooler and also more familiarity with the course. Now people have run it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That was a weird year too after the COVID postponement.
Yeah.
But it's never smooth sailing all the way through 6K or 10K for the men, and this is especially true in Stillwater. What else you got here?
I was talking. I sent these analysis to some of these coaches that coached some of these teams, and they're like, they're like, am I supposed to be offended, excited, confident, not confident?
He said, "You tell me."
So you tell me. This is just what the computer said. You at the end of the day, the athletes get to decide where they finish.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're doing the same sort of projections
analysis,
too.
Yeah.
Right? They get a spreadsheet out and they can look at regional results and they can look at Nuttycombe results and be like, okay, where do we fit in among here? I just think, I think it's gonna be a good race for those top 2. I don't know if Oklahoma State and Alabama have enough to get in that title picture, but it would be interesting to see New Mexico, if they can, just pack their way to a title.
And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah, that'd be wild.
I mean, and this all could be moot, because then if NC State has the ability to be like, all right, this is cute, we're going to go score 70 points, and it's over.
And NC State is the team that has the blowout potential.
Yeah.
I don't think any other team has the blowout potential.
No.
NC State has the blowout potential. But I'm also interested strategically, how do they run? How do these teams approach it? You know what New Mexico is going to do because it's been this thing that they've done all season. Like, how do these other teams approach that? And you have, like, in Alabama and NC State and Oklahoma State, you got all these teams that are going to want to they have the capability to put a bunch of people in the top 10 too. Whereas I kind of like that New Mexico's whole focus is going to be their pack.
Yeah.
And where they fit in. And moving as one throughout. I'm sure they'll have to be wearing the turquoise jerseys out there as well, too. So, it's sort of a different approach than some of these other teams that have individual title contenders, too.
Yeah. All right. Let's do some.
Hold on.
Okay.
You want to do predictions?
No, I was going to talk about individual.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. And then I want to do sleepers after that.
But I wanted to let's. You are Caitlin Toohey,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm Parker Valby.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, and what's your plan?
I can't tell you that, Gordon.
Because I'm Parker?
Yes.
Because that's first of all, that was a good test. You passed the first test.
You got to leave the room.
You should not reveal your strategy to your number one competition. But in a world where you can reveal to me, what should Caitlin Toohey do?
I think she should run the way she's run all year. I don't think she should change anything. I don't think the fact that there's a team title at stake is going to shift. It's not going to be, what's a good example of that? Like the Grant Fisher situation, right? Now, just score 1 point. Go out there and win the race.
Okay.
You're the 5,000 meter title holder. Now,
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
But hold on. Okay. But I think what you're going to do is I think you're going to push the pace.
Yes.
But that's what you've done all the time. But this course is particularly hard. So I don't necessarily think laying off the pace is a bad strategy for Toohey.
So you're gonna let me, Parker Valby, just go.
If you go out crazy fast, yeah.
How far are you gonna let me go?
I'm gonna be confident. I'm the 5K champion.
Yeah, but like you're gonna let me have 5 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters? Like when are you gonna be like, I don't think she's coming back towards me.
Well, remember now it was 10K, not 6K, but remember Wesley Kiptoo versus Mance at the championships?
Yeah, they came back.
He just kept going and going and going. You're like, oh my gosh. And then Mance just turned that thing into a complete route. So
are you gonna
I don't think I'm thinking
bank on Parker Valby falling apart late?
I'm not gonna bank on it, but I'm also not gonna ruin my race in the first kilometer by going crazy fast.
Okay.
But maybe Valby does do that because she wants to put the pressure on early on and make her make a decision. So.
Yeah, I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to change my strategy and think, oh, you think I'm going to go out hard and you're going to lay off, so then I'll do the opposite, not go out hard, turn this into like a sit and kick. Because I'm like, no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Gas, gas, gas.
So I'm going gas, gas, gas the whole time and see what happens. Hey, if it doesn't work, whatever. There's always next year. I'm only a sophomore. Figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and your team isn't there.
Yeah.
So you gotta.
I'm not letting anyone down.
Yeah.
Like I'm just.
Yeah.
Going for it.
No, I think.
Might as well try to win as opposed to try to I want to finish top 5.
Yeah. No, I don't think she should do that. But also, I think McCabe's gonna be in the mix for a bit, right? And she can kick, correct?
Yeah.
Jalangat's strong. She's won a title before. There's a good group of. Rowe is good. Cook is a little bit of a wild card. I think
this is a weird situation. You would argue Caitlin Toohey is the favorite, right? I think based on
you think Valby's the favorite.
I think Valby's technically the favorite, but here's my point. Caitlin Toohey's the more experienced runner. She's been in more of these type of races, more championship style races, right? So typically that runner is one who has the keys to the race. They're the one who decide, when Centro steps on a 1500, he decides what the pace is.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Yeah.
This might be a weird situation where the newcomer, Parker Valby, actually has the keys to the race, where Caitlin doesn't get to decide, doesn't get to set the pace, Parker does. And that's kind of unique. Typically the alpha is the one who sets the race, but in this situation, the alpha might say, you decide.
Is that because the team
and then I'll
situation?
Adjust accordingly.
Was that because the team situation or just because of how aggressively Valby races?
I think it's because of how aggressively Valby's been.
Okay, yeah.
But I think it's a unique situation where Caitlin probably walks onto every starting line thinking
but isn't that
rightfully so? That's how you should think. But now it's it might be my best interest to not act that way and let.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Isn't this similar to Mance and Kiptoo? Although I guess Mance wasn't Mance that yet. Yeah. Fully Mance. But
he wasn't the full form of Mance.
He wasn't. Well, he hadn't won yet.
Yeah.
But we probably thought he was a favorite. But Kiptoo was having such a crazy season, and he ran. Now, I'm not saying Valby's going to run like Kiptoo ran, but I just think it's really hard to lead wire to wire in an NCAA cross-country championship. That's very difficult to do. So I don't think laying back 5 seconds or something at the first K or 2K is going to be determinative for not just Toohey. It's not just Toohey. It's because I think Rowe could get in the mix. I think Chalangat could get in the mix. I think McCabe could get in the mix. Any of those women. And that's the good thing. If you're Toohey, okay, say you don't go with Valby and Valby goes by herself, you're still gonna have people to work with.
Yeah, because I think Tui's gonna be the captain of the individuals all trying to beat Parker.
To
I
chase
think
him down.
Chalenga, Rowe, McCabe, Camille are all gonna be like, Tui, what's our plan? Like we know you're the best.
She shouldn't tell them either. Don't tell anybody.
What are you doing? Because we want to go with you because we know trying to beat Parker Valby is going to be a unique task because she's still kind of an unknown. Even though she's been in the NCAA for a year or two now. I'm not sure if she's a redshirt sophomore or true sophomore. But, there's an unknown with, Chalengat knows. So Chalengat's going to be like,
yeah,
you guys figure it out. I tried twice, didn't work. So.
But she's won one, though.
She's won one on this course.
Yeah. So that's why I think McCabe, someone who can close that fast, I think you got to give her a shot as well, too. And Rose and you have 3 women who've won NCAA titles here between Chalangat, Rowe, and Tui. And then you got 2 others in there who are certainly worthy of a title. So
and a bunch of runner-ups, right? Wasn't Valby a runner-up at 5K?
Valby was runner-up at 5K.
Then was McCabe a runner-up?
And you just have – this is a deep race. I think –
maybe she wasn't.
We have the tendency to narrow it down to 2 people. Fisher versus Knight, right?
Yeah, there's 5.
Mance versus Kiptoo. This is pretty deep. You'd be surprised if it fell out of the first 5, I would think.
Yeah. Camille, that would be Camille winning. I don't think Camille's going to win the national title.
That'd be a turn of events.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
NC State wins national. Wait, Tui, right? No, it's actually Camille.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
On this course, I'll say that crazy stuff can happen. But my point is, this field is deep. It's not just a 2-person race.
Yeah.
On the women's side. So some crazy stuff could happen, especially in your stat that you made up before. I think might actually be true. If there's a 50% chance of one of those 2 not finishing
in the top 5.
In the top 5, right?
Because they destroy each other. They beat
so
up
McCabe was 3rd in steeple outdoors, 8th indoors in the 3K,
okay.
3rd in the in cross.
3rd, yeah.
Yeah, but she's got crazy experience. She's running a bunch of these NCAA championship races. So, yeah, quality is there. We'll
do sleepers first, and then we'll do picks.
Yeah. Do you have any either individual or team sleepers?
Individuals. So, what's the definition of sleeper as in to win it, or sleeper as in to be like, no one's talking about this person, and they finish top 5?
I'll put the criteria for sleeper at someone who has the potential to finish, let's say top 3.
Top 3, okay.
But not getting spoken about.
My number 1 sleeper for top 3 would be NAU's Elise Stearns. Currently, I have her ranked 11th. I think she's been running very well. Let's look at her. So she was 2nd at Mountain Region. She won the Big Sky. She was 3rd at Nuttycombe, and she was 5th at the Cowboy Jamboree. So she's always been in the top 3 or 5 in the marquee race, and getting 3rd at Nuttycombe is pretty impressive. Now, obviously, Nuttycombe wasn't every single elite runner. Valby wasn't there. I don't think Chalengat was there. So it's harder to get top 3 because more athletes come in. But I think the NAU team is, potential podium team, and I think Elise Stearns is having a breakout season. She's run 15:55 for the 5K, so it's not like she's kind of like, this is her first year as being like, her first season as being like a legit top potential dog.
Yeah.
Because, she's going to be going up against women who've run 15:30s and 15:20s in the 5K. But, yeah, Elise Stearns is my sleeper for potential top 3.
All right,
Do you have a sleeper?
No. Only you.
You don't sleep on anyone?
I'm fully aware of
all right, team sleeper?
No, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what do you mean no?
No, I was going to give Kemboy, Utah Valley.
So you do have a sleeper.
You have her ranked 8th, so that's not much of a sleeper.
Yeah.
Let's
see if I have anyone ranked really low. That would just be like, what? Let me see. This is the random sleeper of the night. I'm going to go with, who's like a fun one? Who's a fun sleeper? All right. I'll go with Laura Pellicoro, sophomore from Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
What about
she's 26th.
What about was it Mitchell from Oregon State who won West?
Oh, she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were down in 13th.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
Kaylee
be.
Mitchell.
I don't want to give away all my picks for the draft tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I shouldn't
for-
reveal my sleepers.
Our cross country draft.
Who's someone that's like? There's got to be someone who's like. I don't know.
Well, what
There's
you should do tonight for homework is you should look at who did well at this race 2 years ago.
Yes.
But I guess you could also look at previous. They've run out a bunch now. All the mystery is gone away with this course. All right, team sleepers. Who could finish in the top 3 that we're not thinking about? Or let's just say top 4. Who could podium?
Who could podium that we're not talking about? That's not of my 6 to 7 podium teams.
Yeah, so not NC State, New Mexico, Oklahoma State, NAU, Alabama, or Georgetown. You had Notre Dame as a chance?
Yeah, Notre Dame has a chance. So outside the top 7, who's someone who I think can finish in the top 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so potential teams are BYU, Colorado, Utah, Stanford, Oregon, North Carolina. I mean, it seems like, I guess I was going to say BYU, but now I'm going to zag on my BYU pick, but I'm going to stay in the state. I'm going to go with Utah.
All right.
Currently ranked 10th. They ran well at Pac-12s against a good Colorado team and a good Oregon team and Stanford team. I'm going to go Utah. Utah is my official sleeper for potential non-contender to show up and finish top 4.
I like that because you dropped them from the last rankings probably based on regional results. But, like, we know people care more about conference and regionals, especially if you're at the top of the list. So I'm looking for – who did you drop? Did you drop anybody really far on here? Well, I guess there's not. That's the main one that I'm seeing. I mean, you moved Notre Dame up from 11 to 7, which was big. But
dropped Syracuse from 17 to 25, but that's all.
Okay.
Semantics.
17 to 25?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you have that run of team. They're all West and Mountain teams right there.
Yep.
BYU, Colorado, Utah, Stanford, Oregon. I'll say Stanford.
Stanford. Okay. I like that one. That's a good one. So we go Utah. I go Utah. You go Stanford.
Yeah.
Pac-12.
Are you on your picks?
Picks.
Official picks for the women's team and individual race. Go ahead, Gordon. What do you got? Podium.
Podium order?
Yeah.
Okay. This is real time Gordon making this decision. I did not make these picks before the pod. I am in the I'm going to show you real time thought process of me going through this. Okay, I'm going to go with I first have to decide who my podium my teams are. NC State's going to podium, New Mexico's going to podium. I think Oklahoma State's going to podium. Okay, I got it. So, I'm going to go winning, I think 4th place is going to be Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State gets 4th. I think third might be, NAU. I think NAU is going to get 3rd. 2nd, I'm going to go with, I know whatever I say, it's going to be opposite. This is exactly what's going to happen. What I say is going to be opposite. So I'm going to say NC State wins, New Mexico gets 2nd, Oklahoma State 3rd. Goes number 1 NC State, number 2 New Mexico, number 3 NAU, and number 4 Oklahoma State. That's my order.
All right. I'm going NC State 1, New Mexico 2.
Because we're doing this, New Mexico's going to win, by the way. Just so you know. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen.
I'm going to go Alabama 3.
Okay. I like that.
And then I'm going to go Oklahoma State 4.
Okay.
So I have your same top 4 in the rankings.
Yeah, rankings, yeah.
But I'm just flipping Alabama and Oklahoma State. But I think NC State is going to win.
Yeah. I want to zag, though, because I want to be correct. I want to correctly predict them not winning, but I just can't do it. So I have to predict them to win because they probably are going to win. So
yeah,
because we're saying that, that's what's going to happen. New Mexico will end up winning.
It's just the fact that you got to have somebody in that top 10.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the argument against
New Mexico.
Against New Mexico is trying to get somebody in that top 10.
Yes, and I agree with you on that. And that's why I'm not able to. If New Mexico just had one top 10 stick, I would be like all in on that New Mexico. Because they don't, I have to go all in on NC State. It's just too much firepower up front to ignore. So, Yep. So I'm going, we're both going NC State, New Mexico 1-2. You're going Alabama, Oklahoma State.
I'm going Alabama 3, Oklahoma State 4.
And I'm going NAU 3, Oklahoma State 4.
Yeah. Yep.
So there you have it. Individual, who you going?
I'm going
Top 3.
I'm going 2E1, Valby 2. Let's go Chelangat 3.
That's really chalky of you.
It's very chalky. I think it's going to be a chalky year.
It's a chalky year.
That's my prediction. Chalk year.
I'm going to go with Valby 1. I'm going to go with Kaylee McCabe 2. And then I'm going to go with Taylor Rowe 3.
So you got Valby, McCabe, and then Rowe. All right.
I purposely, that was my I don't want to pick chalk prediction. Someone's got to do it.
How many picks are you going to make? You're just going to keep making different
No,
picks?
this is my one pick, but I'm just going to go all in on non-chalk. And predicting Caitlin Toohey outside of top 3 is kind of a bold move, but
yeah, but I mean, do you actually okay. Well, it's your pick.
Yeah, it's my pick.
Make your pick however you want to make your pick.
Pick how I want to.
Yeah,
so I got Valby, McCabe, Rowe.
It's my pick. I can pick however I want to. I'm just looking this. I was looking the stats back up of the number 1 runner for all the championship teams, right?
Yeah.
Throughout history. So you have BYU actually is the most recent one. They had their number when they won in because obviously NC State in 2021 had a top 10 runner. And then you had BYU in 2020. Anna Camp finished 11, but she scored 9. Then the years before, the 2 years before that, 2019 and 2018, Arkansas scored 3, Colorado scored 1, and then you go New Mexico 1, and then I'll just read these down: 4, 4, 4, 5, 2, 3, 1, 6, 5, 8, 3, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
Why are you revealing
10.
my phone number?
So 1998, Villanova's number 1 runner scored. This is when they moved to the current format of 31 teams. They scored 10. That's the highest number, but everybody else has scored under that. Now, you could say, though, New Mexico, I mean, maybe they will get their first runner to score 10. Because scoring 10 is different than placing 10, because you have people like Valby who don't count in the team score. But, yeah, that would be why I'd have the NC State pick. But good luck on your picks.
Good luck on your picks.
My picks are good.
We're going to do a NCAA draft on Thursday's pod.
Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
So we're going to preview the men.
And then we'll do the draft.
And then we're going to do the draft.
Yeah, because we won't have 10 minutes at the beginning of me getting mad about Dos Santos being left off the World Athlete of the Year.
Can we talk about the other viral news story of the day?
Viral news story.
I'll put it in the podcast.
Let me Google viral news stories.
I'll put it here. Oh, he's got it. Yeah. Okay, you got it.
Here we go. Right. Oh, is the marathon runner who smokes while he runs?
Yeah, so a Chinese chain-smoking marathon runner ran a marathon in less than 3.5 hours while smoking the entire time. We got some great photos from this Sky News article, but he didn't just smoke one cigarette. Because if you keep scrolling, Colt, scroll down, there's more photos at the bottom. You see that he had a pack, and he was like going through them. He was lighting them up.
Well, yeah, that's what chain smoking is.
He kept going, and this guy ran 3.5 hours.
Under 3.5 hours. Yeah.
Which makes me, first of all, how impressed are you with this? What's more impressive, that or a sub 2 hour marathon?
The sub 2, I feel bad for the people who are around him.
Yeah.
That's a tough break.
Maybe it was a competitive advantage.
How many did he get through?
I mean, what do you how long does it take to smoke a cigarette?
I don't know. Colt, can you help us with this?
Average.
You don't need to incriminate yourself.
A cigarette is
a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Wow.
It says the average time to smoke a cigarette is 6 minutes.
Wow.
But it does say you lose 11 minutes of your life.
But does that get counterbalanced by the fact that he ran a marathon? Like, what does this net out to at the end?
I think it breaks even.
Okay.
But if he smokes one cigarette every 6 minutes, and he ran for 3 hours and 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So let's do the Wait, 3 hours, 30 minutes, 0.0. And he ran for 6 minutes? 6?
You're saying it takes him 6 minutes to smoke a cigarette?
Yeah, that's divided by
I mean, that always got to be tough.
35 cigarettes.
Yeah, I bet you didn't do that many.
It's almost 2 packs.
Yeah.
He should probably run faster, smoke less, probably better for his health.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Not only is he running faster, he's smoking less. Maybe that's why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe this will motivate him. It's like, this is how I run fast, is I incentivize myself to want to smoke less.
It just seems tough. You're just like breathing heavy, and then you're just wanting to inhale a bunch of smoke. Just seems like it wouldn't work, but somehow it does.
So, chain smoking marathon, that's now off the bucket list in society. People have run marathons in banana suits. People have run marathons
Juggling. Yeah.
playing a basketball in sandals, barefoot. What's the next big marathon feat? Like, what do we need to see? Why are you looking at NCAA results right now? Come on, man. We're talking.
I wanted to see how much movement there was in the final.
We're
day
not.
of the 2020.
No one cares.
I'm listening. I'm listening to what you're saying.
You don't listen to what I'm saying.
Man, a lot of people went backwards in the last part. How did everybody gain points? That doesn't matter.
All right. Well, I was trying to think of a fun thing to do in a marathon that'll be a good challenge.
So, I mean, nothing is going to be as bad as this, just because this directly impacts your ability to breathe.
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't know, guys. Look at this thing I just found.
What's that say? Cigarette smoking has been shown to increase serum hemoglobin and
I'm
hemoglobin.
not going to say this is fully vetted, but
you know,
What
this is the
website
first
is this?
thing that showed up on
maybe he
Google.
knows something. Look at that photo. His arms look like that. I will say, what if
You're
it's like
saying it's a PED, basically. An underused tool
That's from
in
the
high-performance
National
endurance
Library
training.
of Medicine.
Oh, okay.
what if
Interesting.
instead of smoking a cigarette, you eat a hot wing
So this guy's cheating.
every 6 minutes with
I would be more likely to do that than this, yeah?
That would be hard though, right? Eating a hot wing.
It would burn.
You have
It's
to
like,
carry the hot wings with
so
you.
instead of a beer mile, you have a hot wing marathon?
Yeah,
That's tough. I gotta admit, that's tough.
and like they get spicier, they get hotter. Like the show Hot Ones, like they get hotter every mile you go.
Oof.
You get 26 hot wings,
One each mile?
1 each mile.
Yeah.
And you got to eat the whole thing. You can't just take a bite and then leave. You have to eat it to the bone.
Listen. Again, that would be impressive.
And the Scoville spice level goes up as you get higher.
That would be impressive, but it's still not on the par with what this guy's doing.
Okay, what about
In a bad way.
Yeah.
Be clear. It's not.
What's another like unique thing you could do? I don't know. Anyone in the chat have a fun challenge? Because I'm trying to think of what I want to do for when I run my marathon.
You're running a marathon?
I'm not running a marathon.
Okay,
That was a joke.
I was gonna ask. Marathon. What is going on with this stuff?
They're still talking about.
They got costumes, right? They got people
Yeah,
bouncing a
costumes.
basketball the entire way. That's kind of boring, though.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes it difficult for you to run, but it doesn't interfere with your ability to breathe.
What about reading a book?
Reading a book? Yeah, but see, you're getting in other people's way
What about playing guitar?
at that point. Yeah, I mean that's tough too because you're carrying a guitar
Yeah.
the entire way. That's got to be pretty annoying,
You
and it's moving while you play.
have to record the entire Beatles. You have to play the entire Beatles catalog
Beatles
while
anthology.
running a marathon.
Or piano.
A piano, yeah, that'd be fun.
I think ingesting nicotine into your
At the end of the day, that's probably the
into your lungs is pretty tough. Questions from the chat. Troy says, do non-team athletes bump the team athletes back in the rankings? No.
No. There's
take 'em out.
people. They're all in there. 255 includes the 36.
I think it's talking about
38.
the scoring.
Oh, scoring? No, they're not counted in my scoring. No, but my 255, the non-team athletes are in the rankings.
Yeah.
That's Parker Valby's number 1.
Yeah.
Which is why Caitlin Toure have scoring 1 point because she'll get second, but
Gotcha.
score 1 point.
Gotcha. All right. What else? Oh, press conference? You want to do press conference trivia?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, NCAA championships, they always have a press conference before championships, indoor, outdoor, cross country, and the NCAA selects a group of coaches and athletes to be represented, and it's always a fun game to like see who do they choose.
It's a fun game for Gordon.
Who
and
does the
I.
NCAA think we want to hear from?
Yeah.
Because, are they picking the right? Because sometimes they, especially in outdoor track, they're picking sometimes the wrong coaches. I'm like, they never picked a Houston coach, even though Houston was going to podium.
But some of it's because of availability.
Yeah, availability, but whatever. Anyway, so we're not going to the press conference because we don't get in time, unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks.
Our flight is a little bit later. But I wanted to play a game with you, Kevin, in real time. Can you predict the athletes and the coaches that are selected? 3 men, 3 women, 4 coaches.
Okay.
Can you, if you go...
First of all, I didn't get this email.
You didn't get the email, which is a big reason. So there's a total of 10 people you have to guess. If you go 10 for 10...
You'll buy me dinner. Okay.
I'll buy you dinner.
There's one sure thing here. There's one absolute sure thing.
If you go 10 for 10, I will... Yeah, I'll buy you dinner.
I'm going to go with the first pick, Joe Franklin.
No.
I'm out?
Yes. I'll give you a gimme. You gotta go 9 for 10.
Laurie Hennis.
Yes.
Okay. So you said there's 4 coaches total?
4 coaches, 6 athletes. 3 men, 3 women.
4 coaches, 6 athletes. I mean, it would make sense for NAU because they're in contention for both the men and the women. Ed Eyestone would also make sense. He's usually at these things. No Joe Franklin, huh? That really threw me off. And then for Stanford...
There should have been an obvious number 1 overall pick. I don't know why you...
Stanford, you got...
Okay, you start guessing, man. You're ruining the segment.
No, I'm thinking. There's a dinner on the line now. You gave me Mike Smith.
Mike Smith is...
Okay.
You got 2 coaches so far. 2 more coaches. Come on, dude.
Ed Eyestone.
No. All right, I'll keep... No, we just got to solve it until we get to the 10.
Okay, so... Oh, Dave Smith.
Yes.
That's stupid. Why did I not... He's already there. One more coach. Stanford? JJ?
JJ?
JJ Clark. Men's side.
Santos,
yeah.
All right. So you got the coaches.
Ricardo Santos. Okay.
You're not doing too well at this game.
Double or nothing.
Right. Double or nothing.
6 athletes.
6
3 men,
athletes,
3 women.
yeah.
Tui.
Correct.
Valby.
Correct.
Chalangat.
Correct.
Yes, I'm still alive.
I thought you were going to say Taylor Rowe.
I'm still alive.
I'm
still alive. Men's side. Nico.
Yes.
Charles Hicks.
Yes.
Man,
that was a big one. I didn't know if you get the Stanford one right.
All right, so it all comes down to this. I think they might pick Oklahoma State. They didn't pick Rowe, but they might pick Oklahoma State athlete here. You have Alex Mayer ranked number 1. I don't think they would do another Stanford athlete, Kai Robinson. Klinger, Wolf. It's got to be Alex Mayer.
It's Alex Mayer.
Yes. Guys.
You don't get you don't get
nothing?
You get nothing.
Oh.
Because you doubled or nothing. It was either you get nothing or I get 2 dinners.
Oh, that was it? That's pretty impressive, though.
It wasn't impressive. It took you like 20 guesses.
It took
Your number 1 pick was Joe Franklin of New Mexico.
That was kind of a joke.
When it was on the Oklahoma State course.
That was kind of a joke.
I know it was a good joke.
I thought he would get picked.
Yeah, but like you should have went with Dave Smith. I
totally blanked on Oklahoma State. That was bad. I admit the coaches were wrong, but I got the athletes.
And you're taking the Stanford women's coach?
No, yeah. Let's forget about the coaches. I went 6 for 6 on the individuals. That's good.
That's good.
So
we'll play this game in March.
Tui, Valby. This is a great set.
It's harder in March because then you have field event athletes.
Tui, Valby, Chalangat, Hicks, Nico, Mayer. That's they did good.
Yeah.
Good job. They got 6 there. Yeah, that was the first annual.
Picking Charles Hicks makes me think so they look at Hicks as the number 1 guy, not Kai Robinson? Because I always thought Kai won Nutty Comb.
Kai won Nutty Comb, but if you're looking at the FloTrack rankings, Kai is ahead of him.
Yeah, I put him there because he won Nutty Comb.
Yeah, that is a good question.
That's a good parlay. That's like a minus 110. Who finishes higher, Hicks or Robinson?
I think Hicks. That's why I would have him at the press conference.
Why do you choose Hicks?
I don't know. They're very close. What was Hicks? He won Pac-12s. I guess that's why.
Yeah, but Kai Robinson finished 8th on purpose. They were
yeah. I don't know.
You got 3rd at Nutty Comb. That's a more of a relevant race, I think.
Not sure. I mean, It's going to be tough for you because you think Hicks is one of the top American up-and-comers. And then you found out he
Why do you keep on bringing back all my failed
It was funny.
analysis?
It's funny. It's funny that you said it, not that I brought it back.
I went all in on it, too.
All right, that's it. We're going to go. Thanks, Colt. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, everybody in the chat for watching live. We will be back on Thursday. So we're not doing Friday because we'll be traveling on Friday. We're doing Thursday show. We'll preview the men. We'll do the draft. And if there's other stories that pop up, we'll have time to cover those as well, too.
When we do the draft, if you're in the chat, we're giving one of the teams is going to be managed by the chat. So be in the chat live tomorrow at 12:30 Central.
And if your team wins, Gordon will Venmo you $100. Is
Maybe.
that right?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
If you're in Stillwater.
I'll make the decision of whether or not I'm Venmoing you after the draft.
Okay.
Because if I think I'm confident in my team, then I'll play the game. But if I'm not confident in my team, I'm not.
All right. And everybody who participates, right? You have $100.
Yeah, so like...
So there's 50 people in the chat and they all participate. They each get $100 from you.
No. They divide the $100 50 ways.
Gotcha. That's tough. A lot of paperwork there. All right. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.